Hi, I'm Arlene McIntyre, Creative Director at Ventura Design, and you're listening to Shut the Front Door, a light-hearted podcast that will bring you through the front door and into the homes of influential and interesting people. Home for me is one of the most important things in my life. My career has fortunately given me the opportunity to work closely with people and to help them create a home they will cherish forever. Today we are doing something a little bit different on Shut the Front Door. For the date that's in it, we wanted to ask a couple to join us and talk about their story of home. We are delighted to be joined by a very special duo who are not just partners in life, but partners in business also. Pippa O'Connor and Brian Ormond. After starting out their respective careers in the different fields of modelling and TV presenting, the couple first got together in 2008. Fast forward over 12 years, and they are now partners in an exciting growing business empire that includes the Pippa Collection, POCO, and most recently, Up Cosmetics. We are so excited to speak about home, family, and business with Pippa and Brian today. Thank you for joining me today on Shut the Front Door.
What an intro. I even got excited about that one.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So guys, how are you?
My first podcast. I'm actually quite nervous.
It's Brian's first podcast ever. Arlene, thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm delighted to have you. This should be a giggle.
We're excited.
Pippa's raving about podcasts and everything. I'm like, yeah. But now I'm actually a little nervous doing this one.
Yeah, it's cool. And have you guys had loads of snowball fights out there, or how's it going this morning?
No, just fights. Just
regular fights. We have. Do you know what? It's been lovely because once our boys opened the curtains, when was it? A couple of weeks ago, and saw snow for the first time this year, they were like, like, you forget how exciting it is as a kid. So it's brought a great bit of excitement to the Groundhog Days.
Oh, yeah, totally. And how have you been passing the time? I know you've been super busy. Are you working from home, or how's that rolling out?
Homeschooling, working from home. It's a bit of everything.
I feel like we're doing everything, Arlene, but nothing right. It's all a lot at the moment. Like, I can't say we're bored because things are so busy, but I suppose the word is just repetitive, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's like there's lots to be done every day, but it's just like same thing, different day. But I think our method is to just try and not look too far ahead and to deal with each day as it comes. And I think for us, obviously we're busy with our work, but we're so conscious of the boys. You know, they're only 4 and 7 and we just want them to be okay. So trying to think up of new things every day to kind of do with them. Brian every morning is like, what way will we go for the walk?
There's only so many walks and so many cycles and so many dog walks you can go on without.
Totally. It's Chico hiding. I'd say he's hiding somewhere. It's like, stay away.
No school, no sports, no friends. So I think it's harder on Ollie because Louis just plods along. Louis the younger one, and he's like, yeah, whatever, what's happening next? Whereas Ollie's kind of saying, why aren't I playing football? Yeah. Why aren't I seeing my friends? Why can't I go to school? So
he misses it.
He definitely misses it. So it's hard on him.
Oh God. So you guys have sort of set up a routine. You get up, you've got your breakfast, and then how does the day commence? How does your day begin?
That's been key for us, is to have a routine rather than at 9, 10 in the morning kind of going, okay, what are we doing today? For all of us, because it keeps us all kind of going. The new routine is...
Well, the routine there hasn't really changed that much, Arlene. My alarm clock goes off. I get up and I creep out of the bedroom, not to disturb Philippa in her sleep. And I sneak out of the bedroom. I go down and I make her fresh orange juice and I revive active to start the day. Not forgetting a little coffee and just a little bit, not too much vanilla in the coffee.
I love it.
Because she knows it's true.
Oh, nice. It sounds a bit like my service at home.
I'm actually going red. Yeah, but that you like doing that. That's your thing for me, okay? I'm not going to start listing out all the things I do for Brian.
Oh, let's not go there. That's a different podcast.
I don't need to tell everyone. But yeah, Brian is the coffee man in the morning, so that's our little ritual in the mornings.
Yeah.
And that takes us up to midday. Pippa gets out of bed around 12 o'clock.
Mind him. That's such a lie. Then I have started to go for my walk.
Well, you bring the boys. Do you do the smoothies with the boys? That's your thing.
Oh yeah, we our thing is every morning we make a fresh smoothie. So I make a big deal and performance out of that because they think that's exciting.
We drag 40 minutes out of that. Like, right, now it's 8 o'clock. Where are we going now?
But they love all the little simple things.
They do,
and that's the truth of it. And that's all becoming more apparent now more than ever, isn't it? It's the simple things that we're kind of taking most joy from. So yeah, smoothie, then we get dressed, and then one of us will start the home schooling while the other one of us will start the emails and all that jazz, check in with our team. So it really is literally tag team. And then the four of us might go out for a walk together. And then
before you know it's lunchtime.
And then it's lunchtime.
And then we go for a second walk.
Yeah, and then we've a lot of we're still doing the Zooming more than ever. Yeah. So like that, it's kind of hard for us, but a lot of the times both of us need to be in the meetings at once, but we're just, one of us is doing it and we kind of go back and tell the other one what's happening.
Okay. Is that stressful? Do you find the homeschooling part stressful for you at all?
I actually think it's harder for the kids because Ollie's looking at me going, you're my dad. You're not meant to be telling me how to do my maths or how to do my sentences.
Yeah.
But, he enjoys and he loves when you encourage him and say, oh my God, your handwriting is amazing, Ollie. Or, he loves the encouragement. But, it's hard to get him motivated some days. He's like, oh, Dad, we've just had breakfast and now you want me to do my homework. But no, he is great. You just have to pick your moment and say, right, let's start doing your homeschool. Let's start doing your work.
I don't know how people are doing it with more than one child work-wise. I'm sure that's so difficult.
But not only that, I don't know how people are doing it when both parents have different jobs and need to be on Zoom meetings all the time and they've kids in the background. It's like, at least Pippa, I'll say to Pippa, I'll go and mind the boys, you do that meeting, or, guys, you watch TV there for a minute while I don't know how both parents have different Zoom meetings and try to look after children. It's such
an unnatural time at the moment, isn't it, for everyone?
Oh, it is. It just sounds stressful. Even listening to you, I can't even imagine. You're
no, it's fine. Everything's fine.
I've gone bald since you last saw me, Arlene. I've no hair left.
Oh, well, look, I think hopefully this will be the back of it. I mean, I know we've said that 3 times in a row, but hopefully.
Yeah. Third time lucky.
I think so.
I hope so. I hope so for the country because it's just so tough.
Yeah.
And I'd say Chico's legs are just walked off him at this stage.
He refuses to walk.
Little Chico, he's 1 next month.
He's nearly 1, yeah.
So he's a funny little thing. He sometimes will happily run out the gate. We call him a lamb because he doesn't just walk. He bounces like a lamb. He still really acts like a puppy. He bounces along. So sometimes he'll happily go. And other days he just sits there, bum on the ground, as if to say, I am not going past that gate. So we just kind of leave him. We let him do what he wants.
After a few photographs.
And his little cashmere jumpers. His cable knit jumpers.
Yeah, very cute.
Very cute. Well, look, guys, I have loads of questions to get stuck into with you. And
I thought we were just finished.
I love to start with the format, which I normally start with is, where did you both grow up? And can you share your earliest childhood memories with me?
Okay.
Well, I shall go first, will I?
You go for ladies first.
Okay. I was born in Dublin. I'm originally from Dublin, but I've grown up in Kildare. And I think we lived in a total of 11 houses, if I'm right.
Wow.
I should have asked my sister that first. I'm nearly sure we've lived in 11 houses.
Lived in Florida as well, didn't you?
Lived in Florida, lived all over the place. But it's funny because I'm back in Kildare where I've spent most of my life. And earliest memory would probably be when we lived in Blessington, and I remember, I think it could have been a 3rd birthday, and I remember getting a pink tricycle and that being the biggest thing in my life and the biggest joy at that time. So I vividly remember cycling around our little kitchen on a pink tricycle. That's definitely my earliest memory.
Very good.
How funny.
That's mine. Well, I grew up in Dublin, now living in Kildare. So well done, Pippa. You won.
I won.
You won. Childhood memories for me was just pandemonium in our house because there's 6 children. So all I remember is a mad house all day, every day.
Good fun, though.
Yeah.
Where were you? Were you in the middle? Were you the eldest?
Yeah, I'm in the middle, yeah.
You're the middle. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's a big household.
Yeah, there's 4 boys and 2 girls. We grew up in a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. I don't know how my parents did it. It's just bonkers.
I know when you look back at people the size of families years ago, it's just incredible.
Yeah, especially in Ireland.
How would they have dealt with homeschooling and a pandemic with 6 children in the house? I couldn't have done it. I don't think I'd be here today, I mean.
Do you know what? They would have. Everyone would have.
I know, but who is it that was saying to me recently, like when they were small, all the kids in Ireland, they had memories of just being all kind of stacked into the back seat of the car, and there wasn't baby seats, and the same thing. Like everything has changed.
Arlene, I remember. I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but my dad was a truck driver. I remember driving. He drove us to Galway. We were in the back of a truck on a mattress. We'd go on our holidays to Galway. Like what? We might need to take that bit out. It was like human trafficking from Dublin to Galway.
But like they're your memories that stick now and that you all talk and reminisce about. Like that's what.
And then we'd be going down to the beach in Galway, and it'd be like a 10-minute drive, and my dad would be like, right, 3 of you in the boot of our friend's car, 3 of us in the boot as we're driving down the road.
That's what it was like. My mum had us in the back of the car in the Moses basket with not strapped in. That's what happened.
I know. Crazy. And we're all fine. And we all fine.
We don't recommend it, but that's what
debatable.
Okay, so what posters did you have on your bedroom walls growing up?
Pippa probably had a picture of me, did you?
Oh, I did not have a picture of you, Brian. That wasn't until later on.
Oh, right.
Wow. Oh, probably Leonardo DiCaprio, like because
would you?
Titanic.
He's not that much older than you.
Are you serious?
He's not really, is he?
Shut up, you. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, because of Titanic at the time, that was such a huge movie in my childhood.
I think in our bedroom, because there was 4 boys in our bedroom, 4 boys. How did we do it? My goodness, 2 sets of bunk beds. I think it was like
Pamela Anderson.
No, football. I think it would have been all Liverpool posters on the wall.
Really?
Yeah, because there's 4 boys. Yeah, just football.
That's hilarious. So girls didn't kind of make the cut in the bedroom at all.
I was a bit young.
Bit crowded. So then, Brian, when did you get your first break into the entertainment business?
So let me see. Let me rewind the clock. What is the first break I suppose I got would have been... So I left school when I was 15. I became an apprentice electrician. Mm-hmm. And my mother loved to sing. So I used to sing the odd time around the house. And then when I was in secondary school, before I left school, I auditioned to be in a musical. And that was probably the first time that my parents or any family had heard me sing in public. And
were they surprised when they heard you sing?
They couldn't believe it.
Oh my God, he can sing.
Well, they still don't say I can sing.
You're great.
But so then I started to sing, doing karaoke and stuff like that. And I remember my mother said to me, Michael Barrymore is coming to Dublin for his show, My Kind of People. So I remember going to Liffey Valley Shopping Centre and singing there and with Michael Barrymore. So it was kind of like an audition, but also he was seeing what talent was in Dublin at the time. Wow. And on the back of that, I got invited to go and be on Michael Barrymore's show, My Kind of Music. And my boss actually put a gun to my head and said, if you go on that, you're sacked.
Yeah, isn't that what it is?
So that was the start of it. So I said, okay, well, I'm going on it. And then I did the show and he said, okay, you're not sacked, but you're suspended for a week. And I said,
why?
Do you know what?
You didn't go to work?
Because I would have missed work. So I said, you know what? I'm actually going to stick with this singing stuff. So I left being an electrician. I continued doing my karaoke stuff. And then
I'm glad you did the electrician stuff though, because you're very handy
around the house. Yeah. And then I think the first probably major public introduction of me on television singing was Pop Stars when it came to Ireland in 2002 or something, I think it was.
Wow.
And got to the final stages of that and kind of where else do we go from there? As Pop Idol, Eurostar, presenter, all that type of thing. So.
How exciting.
Yeah.
You did the right thing because, I mean, you could always go back to that other trade. You know what I mean?
I don't think so, Arlene. No, I don't think. Oh, sorry. At the time, I could always have gone back. Yes, true. I thought you meant now.
Well, you could. If it all dries up, Brian, you could.
No, that was my thing. And that's what my mother said. She said, listen, you can go back to it. You know,
isn't it great though that you had that encouragement? Because some people, you know, parents mightn't have been as encouraging.
In fairness, from day one, my parents were always, you know, they never said, no, you need to finish school. No, you need to do this, that, and the other. They always said, what do you want to do? What would you like to do?
That's nice.
And yeah, no, that was great. And it was actually my mother who always pushed me to sing and perform. And and go for it, really.
Excellent. Okay, and Pippa, when did you first break into modelling?
Oh, I suppose I was kind of late in the game, really, to model. You know, people would start at 3 years of age, sometimes you hear, or, 15, 16. I was probably 19. So it was quite late in Ireland, especially, to kind of start out. So it was after my brother Cian was at the Olympics. He's a show jumper, and he was in Athens 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a lot of public attention on him at the time. He won a medal, and, so our family were kind of in the press, if you like. And it was actually his girlfriend at the time said to me, "Oh, you should go into Assets modeling agency." She was in there, and I was thinking, oh God, no, I can't do that. My confidence would have been on the ground at the time. And so she definitely pushed me, and I went in, and I was kind of going, oh, I don't know about this. Oh, I'm not a model. Oh, I'll just lose weight. I'll just get a bit more confidence. I'll just do this. I kept putting it off. But anyway, long story short, went in, say, on a Monday, and then the next day I had my first modelling job. Brian's here laughing at me.
I'm laughing because I remember meeting Cian when he came back from the Olympics. We were both on a show on RTE.
Yeah.
And I think we were doing some like awards thing or whatever. So I met Pippa's brother before I met Pippa. How funny is that?
That's funny. I didn't know that.
He had his hair dyed bleach blonde.
Yes, I remember that. Oh my God.
He loved me for saying that.
Yeah. So that was it, Arlene. It just kind of started from there. And it's funny because it's not something I wanted to do. Like, I didn't set out to want to do it. And I did it, and, it was successful for me, and it, I suppose, built up my confidence. It all, I think, helped me and shaped me to do what I'm doing now. I met so many people along the way. I got great connections from it. But at the back of my mind, I was never really fulfilled. I always kind of thought, oh yeah, this is grand and it's a bit of crack, but it's not me. It's not really what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I suppose it was all leading to the bigger picture. It was all meant to be, for sure.
Yeah, but like, if anything, it was very, as you just said, confidence building. It
definitely.
Doors. Yeah.
The things I learned, the stories I could tell you, the people I met, good, bad, and indifferent. It was the best learning experience, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. And then too, eventually kind of jump forward, which I'm going to get to down the line of my questions, but it probably all fed into your business down the road of your knowledge. So all important question here is, when and where did you first meet?
Oh,
I'll never forget the night.
Oh, I'm sure you couldn't remember the next day. Never mind, you'd never forget the night. So I'll start on this.
You start off, Brian.
So I was a contestant on Popstars and Eurostar, and then I ended up coming back and being the host of Eurostar. So the first series that I hosted of Eurostar, which was an Irish talent show, we had our first live show, and a friend of mine who was in the band said to me, one of the girls in town, it's her 21st tonight, do you want to go in? And I said, are you mad? I have a live show tomorrow night.
You guys knew her boyfriend. That was the connection.
We knew her boyfriend. And I said, are you mad? I said, I have a live show tomorrow. He says, I know, but you're not going to sleep tonight. You're going to be up all night. Come in, we'll have 1 or 2 beers, take it easy, take your mind off the show, and away you go. So I said, do you know what? Okay, fair enough. So I walked in, and as I walked in, Pippa was there with a photographer, and the photographer said, Brian, would you get in a photograph with Pippa? And I said, yeah, no problem. And she was tipsy pipsy at the time. She had a few cocktails on board because it was her friend's birthday.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, no problem. So Pippa put her arm around me and, hi, how are you?
Bearing in mind, I was a baby, 22, 23. Yeah.
And Pippa said, oh, your girlfriend won't be too happy with you getting in a photograph with me. And I said, well, I don't have a girlfriend. I said, but your boyfriend definitely won't be happy. She says, I don't have a boyfriend.
Oh my God.
Wow. So then she put her leg up to go, woohoo. And the photographer took a picture.
God, so
and it was
embarrassing.
front page of the paper on the Monday.
Yeah, and do you know what the headline was?
Who's a lucky girl?
Who's a lucky boy then? Never a truer word spoken.
I love it. Hilarious.
So then the next day, I go and do the live show. Pippa wakes up and I sent her a text actually the next day saying, great to see you, lovely to meet you, hope to see you again soon, Brian. And she tells me today that she read that text message going, who the hell is Brian?
I was going to say, the
And
paper
then
probably
she's
went,
watching
who's
the
that?
TV. That night, I come on, hello, welcome to Eurostar. She goes, oh, that's Brian.
You just slipped my mind, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
So then he chased me, Arlene. He chased me from that
I'm
day
still
forward.
chasing you.
So those were the mobile days. You guys had mobiles, obviously, at that stage.
Oh, Arlene, we're not even 30 yet.
That was only 2008.
Okay, so did you exchange numbers, or how did you stay in
Yeah,
touch?
that night. She doesn't remember giving me her number, but she did.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
I think you said something silly like, "Oh, I think I was asking you about TV presenting." And you're like, "Oh, if I can ever help you out or introduce you to anyone, here's my number." Smooth, Brian.
That's great. So how did you spend your first date? When did that happen?
We went to
Was the first date?
We went to a show.
No, was that not? No, that was. I think
you're
our
right.
First date was the day.
Oh my God, our
Valentine's
first date was Valentine's Day. How could I forget? I can't believe that just slipped my mind. Sorry. Our first proper date was Valentine's Day. How romantic / corny.
And not only that, we arrived into the Shelbourne for a drink and met a friend of mine, Laura Woods, who's a TV presenter in Ireland AM. She was on a first date with her now husband.
Yeah,
No, there's
got the
something
venue wrong.
No, we had a drink in the shower and then we went to the Unicorn.
We met them in the Unicorn.
Right, and they were on a date as well. I think we literally had a double date that night.
Yeah, we did. And they're married now. How funny. And one of their sons is the same age as ours.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Do you remember the Unicorn? That used
Yes,
to be
I remember what I was wearing. And I do you know, like, as I said, I was young and, you know, that was probably very like fancy and probably felt a bit too old for me nearly. You know, it was somewhere my dad would have went to all the time. So it was, that was an exciting night. I remember that night thinking, oh, this is very fancy.
And did you kind of click immediately, do you think? Or was there kind of...
No, it was a slow burner, to be honest.
We did. No, be honest, Brian.
No, we did. We got on great, but which is so weird because we're both Leos. So I didn't think two Leos. I thought we'd clash.
There were sparks straight away.
There was sparks, all right.
No, there was, though. We got on. We got on straight away. For some reason, he made me laugh. He still is. I think that's why we're still together.
Yeah, that is amazing. Okay, so then from there, what's like the one memory you both have of when your relationship then really cemented, and what would that be?
When we said I do.
No, probably Brian had his own house at the time. I think you asked me to move in with you.
I never asked you. You just opened the wardrobe one day and all your clothes were there.
Well, yeah, whatever way you want to look at it. When we started to live together first, that was when it kind of felt very serious.
It moved very quickly, in fairness. And we moved very quickly because I only had a small house. And then we decided to buy our own house.
Yeah, that wasn't a good idea.
No, it was a bad idea. But listen, it was great at the time.
We learned
the hard way. Yeah.
Okay, so from the date that you met, when did you guys get married then? How long were you guys together?
We got married in 2011, so we were only together for 3 years. Yeah.
Wow. So
it's fast. Yeah.
It was Leo fast.
She wasn't letting go of me then, Arlene. I have him.
Yeah, I suppose it was quite fast.
It didn't seem fast at the time.
Feel it at the time.
And we were like living in each other's pockets. Like I think that's why we work so well together now. But we're always together. We're never really apart, are we? Like back then, we were always together. I was freelance working in TV. You were freelance working as modeling. So it's not like we had 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah.
It's not like you were barely and gone out of the house. We spent all day, every day. I'd often go with you to some of your jobs, or if I had to do a voiceover, you'd come with me and you'd be waiting in the car, or vice versa. So we were always together, and I'm kind of still are now.
Now that you say it, I'm kind of sick of you now. I'd love a little holiday on my own.
But you obviously understand each other. You're in the same kind of business, if you know what I mean. It's sort of like you understand each other and how it works.
And I think that helps. And you know that, Arlene, you work with your husband. And I think that's why, like, people say to me, do you ever switch off? We don't, because we love it. And we're both invested in the same
100%.
thing. You know, you're both excited. It doesn't just feel like work. It doesn't feel like, oh God, you know, we're excited by it. We love it. We love a challenge. We love what we're doing. So we kind of never switch off, but that excites us.
Totally. You're blessed. So you can kind of like hammer out a challenging, you know, business meeting that might be coming up together. And it doesn't have to be from 9 to 5. It can be any time. And you can celebrate the triumphs. And, you know, I just think so many pluses to the whole thing. So
yeah, absolutely.
So
loads of, I suppose, loads of hard things, as you know, doing your own business, and there is no switch off, but there's definitely loads of pluses. And I feel really lucky that we can do it together. I don't think I'd be able to do what I want to do to the level I do it at if Brian wasn't doing it with me.
Yep. 100%. So when did you decide to take the leap into blogging, Pippa?
Do you know what? It wasn't really a leap. It just kind of naturally progressed. I became pregnant with Ollie 8.5 years ago or so, and there was just no work. There was nothing coming in. I kind of started to panic. I wasn't getting paid, no money coming in, and I kind of thought, Jesus, this isn't good now. I feel like I'm only 28 with my first baby, and I feel like I'm back at the beginning with nothing to look forward to career-wise. And I kind of thought, okay, I need to take this into my own hands. But
also the opinion of others was, you're pregnant now, that's it, you're done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is crazy, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I got a lot of, what are you going to do after the baby was born? And I was kind of like, the same thing.
Yeah.
But I wasn't getting that vibe back. You know, the vibe in the industry that I was getting was, oh, that's that now. That's you done.
Yeah, like you're burnt toast or something, and little did they know. So, do you think that kind of motivated you nearly to just
definitely? It motivated / scared me. I thought, well, that's it now. I'm not relying on anyone else to give me a check. I want to do my own thing. I want to be my own boss. You know, modeling was great and everything, but you know, I had to go where I was told to go and do what I was told to do if I wanted to work and I wanted to earn money. So I wanted to take things into my own hands, and I suppose definitely blogging was the start of it, and it was the start of what was to come. But I didn't set out for it to be like that. I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd grow such a following and that would lead to Pippa's Fashion Factory, and you know, it all cemented what I'm doing today.
Yeah. So did you find that all of that was the basis for your natural progression into building the brand and bringing products to the market?
Definitely. Like at the time, I didn't realize I was learning the best skill ever. You know, I was meeting thousands of women on a weekly basis, traveling the country when I did the fashion factories, and you know, you're market researching without realizing it. Mm-hmm. It was the best experience that I ever could have gotten to set up my businesses, for sure.
Completely, because you were communicating with women of all shapes and sizes every day. You had the whole background knowledge of, you know, fashion.
Yeah.
So it was just like the perfect storm, really, for you. It just seemed like the perfect next step for you.
Yeah, it definitely was. And you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's now since lockdown, you kind of look back and it was crazy times. You know, I was doing 3 shows a day. One week I did 5 shows a day, 500 people a day.
Wow.
And it was nuts, but I absolutely loved it. And the excitement of doing something like that nearly on a weekly basis, I'll never forget it. It was just brilliant.
And tell me, when was POCO born, and did that all take long to develop?
POCO was born on November 2016. Okay. And that took about 2 years to develop. I was pregnant with Louis at the time. So Brian did a lot of the physical legwork on that one, didn't you, with our factories and our manufacturers?
Yeah, I think it was born, though, because of the fashion factories and the amount of people that you'd met. You're like, I don't want to do this. This won't last forever. So what can I do to kind of grow in business and as a person? So
the dream was to always kind of have my own shop. And you, Brian, and my sister would say to me, oh, Pippa, if you have a shop, you're going to have to physically be there all the time. You're going to want to be there all the time.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be buying trips all the time. And you both kind of said to me, why don't you just concentrate on one thing? Like, what's your thing? And then literally after a discussion one day, I was like, you know what, denim is my thing. I'm always wearing jeans. I'm known for my jeans. And in the background, I could see through Pippa.ie, my blog, I could see what I was selling for other companies. And I could see that the jean sales were through the roof.
Wow.
So we just kind of took it into our own hands then.
And to think, like, jeans, possibly the hardest thing you could try and sell online. Even today, friends of ours that are very successful in business would say, if you'd have asked me for a loan to start that business back in 2016, I would have said, nobody is going to buy denim jeans online. People need to try them on.
Wow.
So it was a huge achievement. But again, we worked hard for it. As Pippa mentioned, we did the fashion factories all over the country. We leave on a Wednesday out of the office, pack the vans up. We travel wherever it was, Cork, Galway, Donegal, Belfast, wherever it was. And we'd spend 3 or 4 days there doing shows. Both Pippa and I worked in television. I wasn't staff in RTE. Pippa was a model and then became pregnant. And so we worked for ourselves. If we didn't work, we didn't get paid. So, we found it pretty hard to get out there and grow our own business and get that money. So I really think if we'd have gone to a bank, they would have said no. So it was a huge achievement for us that the first year of POCO was a success. And I think that's what gives us and Pippa the confidence to go on and try new things. And people kind of say, geez, you're fearless. And we're like, we've kind of been through the ringer with everything. We've had the ups, we've had the downs, we've done it all. And I think we'd nothing to lose back then. And that's why we went for it.
Jeez, it's an incredible
we did either way.
But we were using our own money. It's not like we were, we're in the hole here now to the bank and we could lose a house if this doesn't work. Yeah. It was our own money we spent, but it was our own money that we created from an event.
Completely agree. And a lot of people in business, they're the ones taking the real risks. They're on the front line. It's their risk, no matter how many employees you have or and so on. It's always down to the owners of the company, and it's always going to be their risk, no matter what. Yeah. So definitely such a success story for you. And do you miss the fashion factories?
I do. Do you know what? The laugh we had, honest to God, just meeting different women from all over the country. And I'd hear stories, people, someone would say to me, I've had twins, I haven't been out in a year, or someone would say, I'm just over breast cancer, or I've met up with friends that I haven't seen in 10 years. The excitement was just infectious, and I fed off that excitement. And it was just the best day out for people. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it. We literally laughed from start to finish. And we ourselves grew a little team around it. We'd bring like 20 people with us literally on the road, between models, lighting guys, sound guys, stage. It was a big crew of us, wasn't there? Yeah. Like it was a big production to constantly roll out. And people might think, oh, sure, I just rocked up to a hotel and walked on the stage. Not at all. Like Brian was the one behind
there was a production,
it all together.
Traveling production. Like it was a big gig.
Yeah, I know.
I miss the crack.
Yeah.
It was tough going in terms of tiredness and the body, and you had to you're on form from what time?
Well, you were on stage at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then you finished at probably 5, and then you'd spend an hour or two meeting everybody. So 10 till 8, and then you're exhausted by the end of the day.
Yeah, I remember being really tired.
And then you did some while you were pregnant, and that was tough because
Yeah, totally. It's exhausting. I mean, you're using so much energy. It must be like you must need like a couple of days to recover from something.
Oh yeah, I used to take it every Monday and Tuesday to do nothing. But listen, it was fantastic, and to have that amount of people want to come and spend the day with me and the team that we put together, I'm so thankful for it, because it was the best.
Yeah, amazing memories. Well done. And so which part of the business do you enjoy the most? Is it the initial development process or the end process where you get to see it all come to life and how it comes?
Oh, yeah, probably the start and the end. I'm not mad on the middle part. I love the creating and the designing. Myself and my sister do most of that. We've good designers as well that we use in the factories that we manufacture, but it's mainly myself and my sister. So I love that initial, sitting down and kind of going, what are we doing? And that's so exciting because we can do what we want. We design and create what we love. Obviously, have the POCO customer at the forefront of my mind all the time, but I always go with what do I want to wear, and I hope then that that's what my customer wants as well.
Yeah, and who inspires you both in the business? Like, who would you look up to and think, God, I love how they do that, or I loved how they created that campaign, or?
Oh, so many. Wow, who do I really look up to? I love Anine Bing. I followed her journey and her success from the beginning, and she and her husband actually started out at home in the garage, and they started with producing boots, leather boots and shoes, and she's since gone into all elements, clothing, accessories, everything. So she'd be someone I would really kind of admire and look up to. Also, there's so many people.
How about you? Brian? Is there anybody that inspires you?
Well, I kind of leave all that up to Pippa, and Pippa will direct me and all of that. And she'd say, this is going to be trendy. This is what's in fashion now at the moment. I want to put my own spin or my own stamp on that. And me, I'm probably more of a networker, and probably I'll know someone who can do this, or I know someone who can do that. And, I go and meet somebody for the business opportunity and stuff like that. So all the fashion side of it is definitely Pippa. It's nothing to do with me. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So Brian takes over, I suppose, the middle part of the process. Mm-hmm. And then it comes back to me at the end, and I love the photography and putting shoots together, and I love all that end of it as well.
Yeah. So you have the vision of the way the product, what it is you want, how it should kind of look, feel. I got you. Interesting. Okay, cool.
I love all that. I love the start.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's such tough work, actually, the whole process. But looking back on it, it's such an achievement. I mean, any one thing that you do launch, it's such an achievement, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And I suppose we have so many things now that we've launched to date, but do you know what? I'm still excited by every single thing that we launch. And I think that's, to me, that's important, and it's a good sign. The day I'm not excited by something, I need to rethink things.
Exactly. And do you think consumer habits will change forever because of our experience of living simpler lives at the moment?
I think so. I think we're all becoming a little bit more conscious of what we buy and what we use. I think the person as well that wasn't used to shopping online, I think their habits will have changed forever more.
Yeah.
I definitely think the person that would never shop online a year ago will from now on.
I still think people do like to go and look, feel, touch and enjoy. Like, some people find it relaxing walking around a shopping centre for the day.
You don't, Brian.
I don't. I'm total impulse buyer. Grab it and go. Don't even try it on. That's me. But there's people out there who will really miss, and like, especially women, they love to meet up with their girlfriends and go for coffee and do a bit of shopping. And, so I definitely think that, the shopping side of things will come back. But online shopping, sure, we only need to look at the amount of parcels arriving at everyone's door.
I don't have any parcels.
It's so funny. I never did online shopping until the pandemic. Never. And now I'm like a total addict. I'm a total online addict. And I'm like, how did I not even know this existed?
See, I always was. And I always had every app to every shop on my phone. And it was really too easy because it's just 2 clicks and you're done when you have an app.
And then it's so easy as well. Like, especially when, obviously not around the busy periods, but like on a normal shopping day, if you order something online, chances are you're going to get it the next day. Like, how incredible is that? It's
no
insane.
Parking, no traffic,
hassle-free shopping, and especially if you're
and if you know the brand.
If you know the brand, and if I buy something off a website and I go, damn, that's too big, and I go down a size and I change it and I get it, I'll just keep buying the same thing. I go, grand, I know my size with that brand. Ping, I'll buy that, and away you go. So,
Big time.
it's so easy.
Yeah, and you know what's in stock. You're not making a massive, giant trip into the city to find out what's in stock. Oh, no.
But like Brian says, I miss those days. I'm looking forward to getting back into town for a day.
Yeah, like I love dropping Pippa into town, and I go and meet one of the lads, or might have a business meeting. She's shopping, and then we meet up for lunch, and then she'd bring me out shopping for an hour, and we're both happy.
You miss that, wouldn't you?
You miss all that,
That is true. That is so true. Yeah, hopefully that will all.
Those days will return.
I will.
And do you think, what's the number one product that has been like a massive seller for you since the pandemic broke?
Well, it's working from home, isn't it? It's all that range that you did. Yeah.
We launched a range called the Working From Home range. So it's comfy loungewear, sweatshirts, and they flew, didn't they? We sold the majority of like a day or two.
If you take us back to this time last year, nobody really knew what was ahead of us. So it's not like we had planned for the working from home. So we had to shift the goalposts quite quickly. And in a way, we're so lucky that we're not a massive big brand, because you can't shift your goalposts that quickly, because brands work a year, maybe 2 years in advance. But it was great that we could we had
already dipped our toe into the water, I suppose, with our sweaters. So we went from only denim to like tops. We started to do shirts, t-shirts. Then we started to do sweatshirts pre-COVID. So it was good that we had a really good manufacturer for that already there. We had our design and our fit down. So it was just kind of changing it up, introducing new colours, and just kind of giving the customer what they wanted. And it is completely what people want. I know myself. I'm like constantly searching for loungewear. I could,
like
set up a shop with the loungewear that I have, but that's what I want to buy.
But like even when the pandemic did hit, nobody's going out buying leather look jeans or Saturday night jeans for going out. Everyone's just like, even me, I never wore a tracksuit in my life. And now I'm wearing loungewear, comfy. So I'd live in jeans all day, every day.
I know.
So that, I suppose, the working from home and the cozy, comfy clothing, that's definitely what has taken off over the past year.
And do you think that you think differently and you work differently if you're very comfortable in what you're wearing? So, for example, like your day when you're having a business meeting and you're in a really comfy loungewear or tracksuit, do you think that you're more productive or that you're more relaxed, or do you?
Do you know what? I think that can be good and bad for me personally. Sometimes I have to, have freshly washed hair, put my makeup on, even if it's a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. I will be more productive and feel better myself if I'm not in my loungewear every day. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But then there's days that I kind of need to go, okay, Pippa, you need to feel your best now.
But we even do that at home, take business out of it. Like you've often said to me, you know what, we're going to have dinner tonight, we're going to have a glass of wine. Let's put a shirt and a pair of jeans on.
Yeah.
And you put it on, you kind of go, I needed that. I needed to just get out of those comfy clothes because you're just living in them. So
I think it's good to kind of have a balance of both, isn't it?
Remind yourself of what it's like to kind of be half decently dressed.
Yeah, I would check if they still fit you.
I put up on Instagram the other day, put your hoops in and remember who you are. It's true though.
Yeah.
Put the red lipstick on or the high heels on. Put the high heels on and, remember who you are.
Totally. But then the other thing is like just making sure they still fit your jeans.
I had to slide down the stairs to get to my jeans, but hey, I got them.
And would you ever consider going into menswear or children's wear?
That has been asked so many times. I would never say never, but the answer now would be no, because right now it doesn't kind of excite me. I think I think there's so much more that we're excited about adding to the ladies' end of things that not right now. And when I think of kids' clothes, like I love buying clothes for the boys, and especially when they're babies, all the cute little outfits. But I don't think I'd ever really want to spend much money on them. They're growing so quickly. And from a business point of view, it's just as expensive for us to make kids' clothes, to manufacture them, as it is adults. So I just don't know if it'd be financially worth it.
The same price.
Well, you could. Is it going to be successful?
Yeah, but that's what I mean, you can't really charge the same price when it's costing the same to make. But people are like, are you nuts? That for kids' trousers?
Yeah, that's true. If it costs the same to make. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That's interesting. But for menswear, it is interesting, definitely. I'd say that could be. I can
Well,
totally
yeah,
look into
and
that.
we have a lot of men because our sweatshirts are
Unisex,
unisex. We would have a lot of
I wear a lot of the hoodies and the sweatshirts. And
we would have a lot of
t-shirts.
customers that buy our unisex
The
items.
trainers.
Yeah.
What's Kourtney Kardashian's partner's name? What's his name?
Scott Disick.
Yeah, he has come out with a recent clothing line. Have you seen that?
Something was it
Yeah.
famous, or
Is it
was
like loungy wear as well?
Yeah, it's quite cool. He has a really
Yeah.
cool name on it as well, and I've lost
Or I'm not famous or something famous.
something to do with famous, yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting, and
I like him. He's funny.
and he's kind of made loungewear cool during the pandemic. So like,
Yeah.
it's a good idea. Now we have this running joke in the office about getting kind of Zoom ready. So that
Yes.
you look well from the waist up. I'm sure you've heard this 1,000
Yeah,
times.
it's the thing, isn't it? You want to when the Zoom goes on that you don't feel like you're just haven't made an effort at all, because you probably wouldn't go to a meeting in person without making any bit of effort. So it is a thing, getting Zoom ready.
Yeah, totally. And that leads me now to your makeup line. So that for a female definitely is part of the Zoom meeting. Get your face right, get your hair
For
right.
sure.
Yeah, you definitely feel more kind of presentable in a Zoom.
Yeah.
You've got your look
We
together.
launched Up Cosmetics in December, the 10th of December. So right smack bam in the middle of the pandemic. Some might say we were crazy, but do you know what? It's been brilliant, and we're only a couple of months in business with Up, and women really want to treat themselves to a bit of makeup. I know we're all wearing our masks, but people are putting on makeup just for themselves, for at home. And I think now more than ever, women realize that we put makeup on for ourselves and not for anyone else, because we are at home. And it's been really interesting to see people's shopping habits with makeup in the last couple of months.
Really?
Definitely. People want to treat, they want to boost, they want to feel good. And I know I love opening like a new lipstick. There's nothing like it.
I know.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it is. And it if anything, you're kind of, if you're not wearing it that day, you're planning on when you're going to wear it next. And it's
Exactly.
that feel good sort of experience for sure.
Exactly.
So out of the two of you, who is the most domesticated?
I don't know why you're laughing now.
Because I know the answer.
Domesticated, obviously me. Were you going to say you?
Yeah, absolutely.
In what area?
All of it.
No, that's such a fib. No, Arlene, that's me.
It's you.
Of course.
Okay,
Well-
so if you're going to break down the household tasks, who would do what? So do you share cooking?
Yes.
Yeah, we would share cooking.
When Pippa cooks, it's like a bomb has gone off in the kitchen. I kind of tidy as I go.
Yeah. I'm the creative one, Brian.
I'll do everything. Pippa does the potatoes.
Brian does the things I don't want to do, like bring the bins out and
Peel the potatoes.
those kind of tasks. I'm the one that keeps on top of the clothes and the styling of the house and,
Oh, yeah.
and the
Oh,
flowers.
that's your great ass.
and
Yeah.
That's my area.
When it comes to the cleanliness of the house, not so much Pippa.
The cleanliness, that sounds terrible. You mean
Doesn't it?
tidiness. Don't say cleanliness. My house is clean.
No, you know what I mean.
But that's interesting. So you both have different strengths. So are either of you kind of OCD? Do you like things like perfect around you at all times, or?
In the evening times when the kids go to bed,
Oh, yeah.
I like, the cushions to be fluffed up. I like all the candles to be
fire
lighting,
on.
fire on, fresh flowers. I love comfy, cozy surroundings.
Mhm.
Nice lighting.
Yeah, nice
Yeah.
lighting. Very important. I learned that from Arlene.
Pippa put the boys to bed and she'd come back down and I'd be watching the match with the lights on full blast.
and I'd say, what is going on here?
laugh.
Let's get the ambiance sorted.
And so which one of you is super duper organized and which one of you is always late?
Well, I wouldn't say super duper organised, but Pippa's always late.
Yeah. I wasn't
Are
late
you?
for this today. I wasn't going to be late for
I
Arlene.
wasn't going to be late for Arlene. No.
But I remember we talked about this before, Pippa, and you were saying that because Brian is like the ultimate timekeeper, you kind of slack off because he's on that, so he's going to take care of
Totally.
that. Yeah, I got that.
I have a very kind of relaxed personality in general anyway. He would say if I was any more horizontal, I'd be lying down. So I'm kind of like that anyway, but he makes me even more like that because Brian can be very, what is the word?
Punctual.
Punctual / annoying. You know, if
No, my saying is, if you're on time, you're late.
really, but that's not a
Yes.
saying. That doesn't even make sense.
It is. What is it? If you're on time, you're late. If you're 10 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're 10 minutes late, it's unforgivable.
Oh God.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Brian.
That's not me at all. But Brian is very, like, Arlene, if you said to Brian, will you ring so-and-so for me now and tell them X, Y, or Z? Will you send that email for me now? He will do it. And he'll do it there and then. But he can't understand if someone says that to me, I do it maybe 3 hours later. I will get it done. But he doesn't understand why wouldn't you do it now, the second? So
Yeah.
because he's like that, yeah, I definitely kind of maybe slack a little bit or relax a little bit because I always kind of think,
Brian will get that.
Brian has my back.
Yeah. I mean, Brian is unusual, though. He is 100 miles per hour. I mean, literally.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, Arlene, you know him. He does not stop. And if you
100 miles
say,
per hour.
if you say to him, oh, we should do this or we should change that or let's do this, he'll say, okay, do you want to meet me tomorrow?
Yeah,
He's
let's
not
do it
messing.
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So every couple on the planet at the moment, especially now, disagree on things. So who mainly wins the battle in the end in the O'Connor-Ormond household?
I think it's fair to say Pippa wins the battle. But I always win the war. Yeah.
Brian saying is happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what kind of irks you about each other? Does either of you can you pinpoint like a bad habit that one
You
has?
don't need to tell me. I know what he doesn't like about me. Well, not doesn't like. Irks is a better word, Arlene. You said it.
Yeah.
If I get packages in, I'll open them, take the bits out, and then I'll just leave the packaging everywhere.
But and when I say everywhere, like you'd find the wrapper in one area, the box to be in the other area, the tissue papers in another area. I'm just like, who opened this, Louis or the dog or you? It's like everywhere. Christmas morning when the postman comes.
And what irks you about Brian then, Pippa?
Nothing. I'm perfect. I'm like Mary Poppins. Perfect everywhere.
What irks me about Brian?
See, you've got to think of it that way.
I'm trying to think of a bad habit. You have a thing. You have a thing with you have to have like 2 showers a day. Like he's very.
That's not bad.
No, it's not. But you're always like, what's the word? You'd say, oh, there's nothing worse, if that. I suppose it's a bit OCD, isn't it? The top has to be really clean. 2 showers a day. You'd never rewear something. The boys have that habit as well. They wear something once and they throw it into the wash. I'm like, that's not dirty, guys. So I suppose that's not a bad habit.
No.
But
No, that's not a bad habit.
it would irk me.
Yeah. So you're actually more chill than Pippa.
Very chill.
Oh, Pippa's very chill. Oh,
But if you were on a girls' holiday, okay, and Brian wasn't there, I would say you would be then quite particular about things.
That is quite true. Yes. And I'd be quite the organizer in terms of where are we going, what are we doing. If I don't see someone taking that role, I'll do it.
Yeah. I'm the same. And so do you find that being able to laugh together is like the most important ingredient in your relationship?
In fairness, we do, don't we?
Yeah. Oh my.
Like, take us back to when neither of us were working and we were like doing nothing. We always had a great time. I always laughed. And no matter how bad things got, we'd always have a laugh.
When we couldn't put petrol in the car.
Couldn't buy, like, no joke. Nobody would believe it. We'd still laugh. And we'd say, will we just walk?
Yeah. No, we've always laughed. I think that's so important, and we've always made time for each other as well. Even when business has been crazy and the kids have been really small, we've always kind of, we celebrate birthdays or anniversaries. We always make time for each other, and I think that's important.
Yeah. And what's your favorite place to spend time alone or together in your home? Where would be your single spot that you love to go to?
Oh, we love the good room.
We love our good room. As Ollie calls it, Mom, you love your fancy room, don't you? Your fancy room.
Oh, it's nice just dimming the lights, few candles, a glass of wine and a bit of music. There's no TV in there either, so it's great.
I love that room. Brian sometimes slags me and says, oh, sure, it's a beautiful room if you just look at it or sit.
Yeah, you just don't touch anything.
Don't touch anything because everything's so gorgeous and perfect. And like, Arlene, beautiful fabrics, you wouldn't want to have,
Yeah.
Anything spilled or, it's just stunning. But it's my happy place. I adore it. I feel like I'm in like a fancy hotel when I go into that room.
Definitely. It reminds me of like a cocktail room or something.
Exactly. And
I
absolutely love it. I love the lighting. I love the smell. I adore it. And I feel so lucky that we have areas like that in our house.
Totally. Every kind of that room is probably where you would go together exactly and have a glass of wine. And then your other room is probably where you would spend time with your kiddies. So they have kind of different vibes. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
And would you describe yourselves as spiritual people? And when I ask that question, I mean, do you believe in good karma and what you put out there comes back to you and all that?
1,000%. I'm a huge believer in karma. Oh yeah, I think when you do good and you put out good and you put out positive thoughts and positive to the world, it 100% comes back tenfold.
You can't beat doing something nice for somebody as well. We always love to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so important for in a selfish way as well. When you put out positive vibes, it makes you feel good as well as everyone else. I'm all about the positivity, and I love The Secret. I've probably read that book so many times, watched the movies, have the app on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge believer in it, and I am quite spiritual as well.
Yeah. And do you believe in surrounding yourself with positive people?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I don't have negative Nellies in my life, Arlene.
Yeah.
And I think as you get older, you realise that. I think as you get older, you'll just, you won't have time for people who are just negative all the time, and you'll just distance yourself.
Yeah, life
is so short. Yeah. I think the older you get and when you lose people in your life, it really kind of makes you stop and evaluate who is in your life and what's important. And you only want to be surrounded by people that you love and that love and respect you as well. Like life really is so short, and it could be taken away from any one of us tomorrow. And I think it's a sin to kind of be around people that don't uplift you.
Yes, I totally agree. And that kind of leads me to my next question. Can you each share with me the highest point memory of your life and the lowest point memory of your life?
Oh, the highest. Well,
there's so many. It's hard to pick one highest.
I know, because obviously we have kids, and you're going to say, them.
Born, you get married.
The start of it was getting married. That was
our wedding weekend. Was possibly the best weekend we've ever had. It was amazing.
Yeah, such an unbelievable high. And then we've been lucky to have our two little boys. But for me, becoming a mum for the first time, like that's because it's new. It's just the best ever. Yeah, that was definitely a personal high for me. And then my lowest was definitely losing my mum. My mum died suddenly when she was 61. That was 5 years ago. And that was definitely my lowest, for sure.
Yeah.
And days for my lowest, I don't know. There's so many things that you'd think this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But is it really?
Isn't that true? At the time when something happens, you think, no, this is it. This is the end of me. But it all makes you kind of stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it enriches your life nearly in some way or another. It sort of enriches your life. These experiences, happy ones and very, very sad ones, they do add depth to your life, definitely. And then you just evolve. Hopefully, you evolve for the better.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, how does social media fit into your lives?
I have to say, I love social media. People would say to me, "God, I follow all your accounts," because I have my personal account, I have 3 business pages on Instagram alone, so I love it. I love interacting with people. I love putting up nice pictures. I love doing stories when I have time. I enjoy them, and that's the thing. I wouldn't do stories unless I have time that day. I don't feel like obliged to do them. I do them when I want to do them and when I have time to do them.
And you get a giggle out of it as well. Like you're chuckling to yourself the other night there when you did a Q&A about what's your plans for Valentine's. Yeah. And some of the replies are hilarious. So it does give you a giggle as well.
I enjoy it. And I think especially now, I think social media is so important for people. So many people are at home alone, or they might be home with kids all day on their own. And it's such an important outlet for so many people. For me and for us, it's invaluable for business. Instagram is just such an amazing tool, as is Facebook. I like it though, and I like kind of doing them myself. I have a great team of people that work in our office, but it's just between myself and Niamh really that do the social media. So I'm very hands-on with everything that goes up.
Yeah, you've got to be though. I mean, it is. It's all a reflection on you. So it's a big responsibility. I can only imagine.
Yeah, definitely. And you want everything to be in sync. And that's why I rather it just be myself and Niamh. Niamh has been with me for, 8 years, 9 years.
Yeah.
So she knows me inside out. I know her. We're on the same page. So it works. I don't have a big team of people, different people randomly putting things up on social media. I think it would just look odd. And when I look at someone else's business that might do that, which I get, some people don't like it, or they don't know how to use it, or they don't know what kind of language to use. But you can really tell the ones that are, I suppose, organic and kind of from the heart, and the ones that aren't.
Yes.
And I get that it's not for everyone, but so I suppose I'm lucky that I enjoy it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're not really into Instagram, and you might put something up and then you mightn't for weeks.
I mightn't put anything up. I'd look at it the odd time, but yeah, I don't rely on it. I wouldn't miss it if it was
gone.
Yeah.
It's definitely a way to communicate with people. It's just taken over,
It's
really.
a great way of keeping in touch with people. Like there's people that I follow online that I went to school with that I probably haven't seen in 20 years. And there's people that I've worked with 15 years ago. And it's a great way of still keeping in touch and being in their lives without physically seeing them.
Yeah.
So it's nice that way.
Totally. And do you feel as you're getting both older that you're picking up habits from your parents, or that you're kind of like things you're saying now you never thought you'd say that would remind you of your parents?
Oh, completely. Even when I think of things like home and how much my mum used to love her homes, because we know there was more than one, but she would really put her own stamp on them and make them really homely. And she had cushions for different seasons and throws for different seasons, and loved candles. And I remember her getting scented candles when they weren't even a thing, and she'd decorate the house for Valentine's, Halloween, Christmas, Easter.
Sounds like someone I know.
Yeah. And I know people kind of do that these days, but back then they didn't. You decorated for Christmas and that was it. But she had different boxes for every season. And that's me now. And I find myself doing the exact same that she would do. And Brian would kind of look and smile and say, you're exactly like your mum was. Or I'd get something new in the house and I'd sit and look at it. And that's what she'd do. And we'd say, what are you doing? And she'd say, I'm just sitting here admiring my new painting or admiring my new curtains. And that's exactly what I do now.
That is hilarious. It's funny how you pick up on these things when you're small.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so cute. And what have you guys learned about yourself during the lockdown?
That we like wine.
That we like wine. What have I learned? God, I have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
That, you know what? Joking apart, that we are all of us. We're way more capable than what we ever imagined. If someone said to us all last January, February, this is what is going to happen in your lives to everyone for the next year or so, we would have went, there's no way. I couldn't cope. There's no way I couldn't have the kids going to school, or there's no way I could do X, Y, and Z. You can do it. We can all do it. We're all stronger than we think. And I think everyone should be proud of themselves, proud of how they've handled it, because we've had to.
100%. We've had no other choice. I so agree. We've been so tested by all of this. So.
Yeah, unbelievably tested. So I think everyone is always stronger than what they give themselves credit for.
What advice would you guys give to your younger selves?
I think for me personally, it would be, don't be so afraid of other people's thoughts and opinions. People are always going to have opinions and have something to say.
And it's none of our business what people think of us.
That's a good one as well. But always go with your gut, go with your heart. Don't be such a scaredy cat. That's what I'd say to myself.
And if it's not going to matter, like in a few years' time, don't worry about it. Years ago, would definitely worry about the smaller things.
You would have been a worrier.
Now I'm like, forget about it. It'll be grand. So yeah, worrying about silly things would have definitely been something that I would have done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And life is your own individual journey. You can't kind of live your life based on someone else's experiences of that journey. You've just got to do it for yourself.
Exactly.
And where do you guys see yourself in the next 10 years?
Wow.
10 years' time, Ollie will be 17, nearly 18.
Wow. Where do we see ourselves? Hopefully still working, having a couple of successful businesses and, enjoying our kids and just being happy and healthy, please God. I suppose that's all any of us want.
And hopefully out of lockdown.
And who inspires you the most in life? Like, who would you say in your entire, each of your lifetimes, who would be the one person that you could say inspired you the most?
Brian?
It's hard to pick one person. There's so many people that are friends with us that are very successful and very down to earth. And I really admire them, that people who've worked hard in the early years and are now enjoying the hard work. It's paid off.
It wouldn't be people that would be like known. It would be friends of ours. I'd be the same. Friends of ours or family members that you look at and you think, Jesus, they've worked hard and fair play to them, and they can enjoy their life. They can enjoy their life now, and that's going back to earlier on. Like, we really surround ourselves with people that we admire and look up to, and I think that's really important for everyone.
Exactly. And my final question is, if your home was on fire and you had to save 3 items each, what would they be?
Oh, Arlene, that's so hard. 3 items each. It's going to sound
not including the boys or Chico.
I was going to say Pippa, Ollie and Louie.
Yeah, it's going to sound really materialistic. I have some nice handbags that I would, be Devo if they were.
Your mother's Louis Vuitton box, you'd definitely grab that one.
My mum's Louis Vuitton vanity case. Ooh. I would be taking that. And wow, and my Chanel 19 bag. That's just the honest answer.
My mobile phone, my golf clubs, and then I'll be fine.
You're missing something. Your mobile phone, your golf clubs, and you need a third one.
I need a third one. My wallet.
Your wallet. Perfect. And your passport. You can't forget that.
That's on my phone. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'm going to ask you a quick fire question. Are you ready?
Yes.
You have to answer me at the same time. Ready? Okay. Tea or coffee?
Please.
Coffee.
Bath or shower?
Shower.
Fashion or cosmetics?
Cosmetics.
Text or talk?
Text. Don't ring me.
Oh yeah, text.
Red or white wine?
Red.
White.
TV or roadshows?
TV.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Online or in-store shopping?
Online.
Taxi or walk?
Taxi.
Eat in or take out?
Eat out.
Eat out.
Fashion or interiors?
Oh, both.
Okay, this is my final one. 2021 or 2022?
Oh, let's go
2021.
2.
No, live in the moment.
Roll on.
Excellent. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today on Shut the Front Door, and have a happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks, Arlene.
Thank you for having us. It's been a blast. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Happy Valentine's Day.
You too.